kay Abapo. The purpose of my talk today is to give you tips on how to develop your leadership style in hospitality industry. In the book Primal Leadership, Daniel Goleman, who popularized the notion of emotional intelligence, describes 6 different styles of leadership. The most effective leaders can move among these styles, adapting the one that meets the needs of the moment. They can all become part of the leader's repertoire. Repertoire is a stock of plays, dance, or pieces that a company or a performer knows or is prepared to perform, and it's about the things that a person is able to do. First is visionary. This style is appropriate when an organization needs a new direction. Its goal is to move people towards a new set of shared dreams. Visionary leaders articulate where a group is going, but not how it will get there. Setting people free to innovate, experiment, take calculated risks, write Mr. Goleman and his co-authors. The second one is coaching. This one-on-one style focuses on developing individuals, showing them how to improve their performance and helping to connect their goals to the goals of the organization. Coaching works best, Mr. Goleman writes, with employees who show initiative and want more professional development, but it can backfire if it's perceived as micromanaging an employee and undermines his or her self-confidence. Next is affiliative, the style which emphasizes the importance of teamwork and creates harmony in a group by connecting people to each other. Mr. Goleman argued this approach is particularly valuable when trying to heighten team harmony, increase morale, improve communication, or repair broken trust in an organization. Then democratic. This style draws on people's knowledge and skills and creates a group commitment to the resulting goals. And another one is pace setting. In this style, the leader sets high standards for performance. He or she is obsessive about doing things better and faster and asks the same of everyone. And lastly, commanding. This is classic model of military-style leadership, probably the most often used but the least often effective because it rarely involves praise and frequently employs criticism. It undercuts morale and job satisfaction. And now, I will give you the common 2 tips on leadership styles. First, all leadership styles can become part of the leader's repertoire. And the second one, leadership styles should be adapted to the demands of the situation, the requirements of the people involved, and the challenge facing the organization. And this time, I'm going to give you the tips on how to develop your leadership style in hospitality industry. Leadership is one of the most read and most searched for topics in the Good Practice Talk Tip. So I thought I'd share some tips to help you to improve your leadership skills. And these following tips are the top tips of developing your leadership style. Be authentic. It's important to be yourself, or rather a more professional version of yourself at work. If you are not naturally authoritative, suddenly dishing out orders to your team will seem very strange and is unlikely to earn the respect of those you manage. Be flexible. Different situations will require you to adapt subtly different leadership approaches. For example, if you are leading a change initiative, it is important to be inspiring and engaging in order to ensure other buy-in and commitment. Be aware of different approaches. While everyone has their own take on leadership, there are some commonly recognized leadership styles. Even if you find you naturally move between different styles, it is helpful to know what the different approaches are. Autocratic, democratic, transformational, collaborative, servant leadership, transactional leadership. If you are a relatively new manager, it may be worth talking to a more experienced manager or leader about their experience, what leadership styles and approaches have they employed, which have worked for them, and what advice could they pass on to you. Use your emotional intelligence. Being emotional intelligence means tuning into what is happening in your environment. And being self-aware, of course, we all have a certain ability to identify with the situation. Emotional aware. If there is threat of redundancy in your department, for example, you will want to show empathy for your team members. Be careful, however, not to offer false hope or to make assurance that cannot be met. Strike a balance. When leading others, you will need to balance the motivations, needs, and wants of individual teams members against what is best for your department or the wider organization. When deciding on the most appropriate leadership approach, you will need to consider the nature of the work you and your team are doing, the different skills, experience, and personalities within your team, your departmental or organizational culture. Don't be scared to experiment. One of the best ways of finding what leadership style suits you and when is trying out some different approaches. A leadership training course can offer a safe environment in which to do this, volunteering to lead an initiative or special interest group within or outside your organization may also offer you further opportunities to work on different leadership approaches. Seek feedback. It can be hard to be objective about your own leadership style and how well it is working, so seeking out constructive feedback is a good idea. This could be through an online assessment tool or by asking senior colleagues for their observation. You may even wish to solicit the opinions of your team members at individual catch-up meetings or as part of a more formal performance review process. Answer to questions such as what else do you need me to do or what could I do differently to help support you in your role can be quite revealing in terms of how you might adapt or fine-tune your leadership approach. Learn to adapt. Adaptability is one of the most important elements of your leadership skill set in today's business environment. In one meeting, you may be presenting a controversial new idea to a senior person, and a half hour later, you may be handling a dissatisfied client. Adapting your style in such a short of amount of time can be difficult. To improve this ability, use your newly discovered skills across a diverse set of experiences with different population of people. Working with a variety of people helps you to learn to flex your style intuitively. You will always need to make adjustment to your style depending on the audience with whom you are working. As for formal support, if leading a team is relatively new to you, you may feel daunted at times as you tackle the many tasks, issues, and demands that are part of managerial life. It can be useful to have someone you can call on for some external support, etc., a coach or mentor to help you benchmark your progress, talk through your leadership ideas with, and identify areas for ongoing development. Thank you very much for your willingness to hear and to know my speech all about. Thank you for your kind attention, everyone.